Welcome, boys and girls. Oh, thumbs up already. Jesus. Gonna smoke a little Bayou Morning. Bulk order. Amir, welcome. Eli, welcome. Long time no see. I should start doing this in the while the daylight's still open. Doing well, Amir, doing well. In my bag, I have a little leftover flake of triple play, which I put I put Bayou Morning in the bowl, but I like to tear just a little triple play piece right on the top, almost like a homemade blending, so to speak. A little triple play there at the top. Well, likewise, Amir, how are things in Tehran? I haven't busted out this pipe, an old favorite, an old Boswell pipe that I got back in 2013. I use a Dremel tool to give an insigniation, so to speak. Estonia. I remember you used to travel to Estonia. I remember that. Blake, welcome. Just thinking how I hadn't seen the stream for you lately. I did one a couple days ago, but it was late at night. This is the first time I've done it while the sun is still up. Oh, by the way, so I have a new laptop. This is my first Chromebook. I decided to venture off and realize I didn't need to live in a Windows world, so I bought my first Chromebook. It is give me a second. It's an Acer 714, and apparently it's got a 1080 camera. So depending on the Wi-Fi connection that I'm stealing, let me know if this looks low quality video or high quality. It should be higher quality. With the Lenovo ThinkPad I used to have, it was 740 or 720. But I used to have a separate webcam plugged in to get higher quality. But this is it's 2023 now, so things have changed. I just got the okay a couple weeks ago from my oral surgeon. I have a tooth transplant. I don't want to be graphic, but I had a root canal for like 30 years. I finally got a tooth transplant to replace it because root canals don't last forever. But you have to be very careful with tooth transplants to make sure that they're very expensive, by the way. So you have to be very careful with them. It's so weird that I don't know, for those of you who have had a lot of dental work, to have an oral surgeon drill into your jawbone while you're awake, by the way. I'm scared of flying, but I'm not scared of dental procedures. I'd rather have a drill into my jawbone than get on an airplane. which is a true statement. But Amir, going to Estonia, that's probably a 4 or 5. I'm going to say a 5 hour plane ride. I could be wrong. I'm just guesstimating. In my last live stream, again about 3 or 4 days ago, I talked a little bit about my recent order of Cornell and Deal tobaccos. Some surprises, some pro, some con, but the Bayou Morning is probably the best of the last batch that I ordered. I take that back. I take that back. Izmir Turkish. Cornell and Deal makes a pure blending tobacco. You can only buy it in bulk. There's no tin, no can. But the Izmir Turkish was fantastic. I don't have it with me. And Oriental Silk, which I've talked about a lot, ordered it many times. That's also still super high quality. The GLP stuff, as I said in the last live stream, a little disappointed over the last couple orders, but I found a couple winners this time. Direct flight, 6 hours. Direct flight's the way to go, by the way. As someone who doesn't like to fly, I'm always looking for direct flights. The connection, I'll pay a 30-40% premium for direct flight. I do not want to lay over, not because of the time, just because of the stress of flying. They should have a website just for direct flyers only. Blake, what music have you been listening to? I'm Smoking Virginia Flake number 14 by Vaughn. Vaughn rings a bell. I don't think you can get it here in the US easily. It seems like a brick and mortar type of thing that you don't really see very often. So I haven't had it, but music wise, 80% all jazz. So I've been a jazz guy now for a couple years. I'm not sure where the audio is coming through my headphones or through the laptop, but I've been a jazz guy for several years, to the point where I've built up my audiophile system in my house, and almost anything that plays over that is. It used to be 60s and 70s jazz, so some of the classics that I won't bore you guys with. But on Spotify, I've switched services. I've never been an Apple Music guy. I went from Spotify to Tidal, back to Spotify. And on Spotify, I have to admit, I like the idea that if you want to listen to new jazz you never heard before, they have playlists of like new or modern jazz. And sure, I hit skip several times, but I get a lot of exposure to non-vocal instrumental jazz that helps me discover new songs. And about 1 out of 10 I'll add to my playlist. So it's listening to music. It's kind of like fishing. You're fishing for something. You just keep hitting next. Like, no, I don't like that song. I don't like that song. I'll keep this one. So it's not easy to develop a playlist. It takes a lot of time. Oh, it's German. Yeah, yeah, okay. They had it in my BNN, brick and mortar. Yeah, okay. Blake, where you at? Are you in Germany? Eli, welcome. What else did you get? I'm enjoying some Cornell and Deal Gentleman Caller. Yikes. I remember that. I polished off 2 8-ounce tins in a month. No way. No way. No way. Gentleman Caller, straight up, 2 8-ounce tins. That's so much deer tongue, man. No, I applaud you. I I have bought many a Gentleman Caller. I like the initial taste of deer tongue, but I couldn't do it for too long. Very floral. I do like floral things. For example, drinking a relatively floral beer. They call it a mimosa style beer. I was a little nervous because it seems like it's going to have orange in it, but now that summer's coming around, I think floral is the way to go. I can't think of any other floral tobaccos that I've had though. I still have my actually I still have it on me. Let me pull it out here. I'm still a big fan of, there we go. I've talked about this many times before. Stanwell's Melange. A lot of you probably haven't had it before. I've talked about it a lot though. Stanwell only makes a couple tobaccos, or only blends a couple tobaccos, but it's like a serious tobacco with, it's heavily topped, but I wouldn't quite say it's a hardcore aromatic because it's got enough body. A lot of aromatics just don't have enough body. It's just kind of whispers of tobacco flavor. But that melange, for as cheap as it is, I think it's incredible. What else did I get? Some old favorites. I think the Oriental Silk and the Turkish Izmir, Morley's Best, which was something I tried many years ago. Again, by C&D. Those are the ones that I can recall right now. Blake, are you kidding me? Are you in Bloomington? I went to IU, and then 10 years ago, I moved back to IU, Indiana University, for those uninitiated. And I lived on Lincoln Street, 1200 Lincoln Street. I could work remote for about 9 months. So I moved back to IU. They have a tobacco pipe shop, or they had a tobacco pipe shop back then, right there on Kirkwood. This is before I smoked a pipe, actually. But no, small world, man. Small world. Eli, yeah, I don't knock anyone who does not like it, but I love floral tobaccos. I get that. What's it called, Blake? Remind me. I'm sure maybe it's changed names. It's been a decade, but still got that burn. I still love this pipe. This is probably, I've lost several pipes over the last many, many years. Not recently, but I used to have so many pipes that occasionally I would lose one. But luckily, none that I really loved. But this is the one this is one of my first 5 pipes back in 2013 when I started this hobby, and I still have it. I don't actually smoke it that often because it's not really a clencher. I became more of a clencher, so I'm looking for lighter pipes with a little less torque on the jaw. But I think I've smoked this like 3 times in the last year. Again, partially due to some of the dental work that I've had. Oh, Briar and the Burley. Okay. I have not tried any of the Ken Bryan. I go to smokingpipes.com and I kind of I'm a one-stop shop in terms of buying. I don't really go to any other e-commerce sites, which maybe I should. But because you never know the availability of tobaccos. Every website has different inventory, but I've been a Ladisi guy for a long time. The retrohale on this is I'm still trying to recall, like the first time I got Bayou Morning was like 6-7 years ago, like 2016, 2017. And I'm still trying to recall. Bayou Morning came out like right around then. It was new. Everybody was talking about it. I mean, sure, it's a vapor. and how different could a vapor be? But it was different, and I think it still holds up. A little bit unlike Briar Fox. Briar Fox didn't quite hold up for me over years, but Bayou Morning has been, it's a solid B plus A minus tobacco for me. I've never been disappointed. I've been disappointed by other things, but not this blend. I never really considered myself a vapor guy, but this might be the exception. You know, I liked Elizabethan back in the day and some of the other vapor blends, but it's got a lot more oomph than Elizabethan mixture had, uh, from memory at least. Any new tobaccos you guys have been smoking? Oh, what is that place in Richmond, Virginia? You guys have to remind me. I keep forgetting about it. They make a lot of matching blends. I can't think of the name. Cheaper blends, matching blends. A lot of aromatics. Super popular. So yeah, Southwest. Yeah, thank you. Um, to date, I have not bought a Sutliff blend in maybe 5 years. I never ordered a Sutliff blend online. You know, I might have bought something at a pipe show or something. But are there any Sutliff blends that you guys think are that have staying power? Meaning you bought it twice, not two tins in the same order, but you revisited it and it still really held up. Exactly. KR4. I know they were heavily biased toward aromatics, but I know they made some matches that were supposed to be McClellan, you know, imitations. Sutcliffe. That's the German pronunciation. Then again, I've not been to a pipe show in about 2 years. The last pipe show I went to was actually in Richmond, Virginia. I've not watched a lot of YTPC videos. Occasionally, I'll watch some, but it's always a different cast of characters all the time. So I'm not really sure the quote unquote state of the YTPC. Yeah, I like the idea of matching old blends. I mean, let's be honest. Peterson's, in my opinion, did a pretty good job at mimicking Dunhill Flake, which was one of my old favorites. The one thing I forgot to order in this last batch, which was an old favorite of mine, it's in a lot of my videos, and I just forgot about it because I think the last couple times I bought it, it just kind of seemed meh, which was Burley Flake number 3. And I haven't ordered a Burley Flake because they make like 5 now. Burley Flake number 1 through number 5, the last time I checked. But I would love, I kick myself for not ordering Burley Flake number 3 because I just like to see if it's roughly the same as whatever I remember it being. Little Piper Todd, welcome. Rob McConnell makes the best match blends. What do they match? KR4. I didn't know Rob McConnell made a match series. Again, I haven't looked, but I'll give you a tour of where I'm at here. This looks amazing in the camera. It looks better than it does in person. But this is the Acer Chromebook 714 camera. This is a back patio of a coffee shop / brewery in Winston-Salem. with a chicken coop back there with roosters that crow around 4 p.m. Luckily, the roosters aren't crowing now. Oh, here's the Oriental Silk 2 ounce that I'm working through. In the last live stream I did a couple days ago, I talked a little bit about H&H Burley Flake, which I used to love. I thought H&H Burley Flake, I thought was the closest match to Wessex Burley Slice, which is still the channel art or the banner of my video of my channel. I wasn't so impressed with the last batch of H&H Burley Flake. It wasn't bad, but again, it's been a long time since I had it, so maybe it's me. But it didn't have the earthiness of the Wessex Burley Slice that I can recall from memory. I would need to actually buy Wessex Burley Slice to do a side-to-side comparison. But oh, okay. Oh, they're doing matches of things that still exist. When I say the word match, I'm thinking of things that went out of production. I forgot about you can just match something still in production. Eli, I like Sutliff, John Wolfe match, model match, and VIP match. The VIP, is that that's the Richmond, Virginia limited edition, if I recall. Pipe Core Group, I think. Went on a couple road trips over the last couple weeks. Went to so I'm in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I haven't been to Chattanooga, Tennessee in a very, very long time. So I took a road trip there about 2 weeks ago. Very gentrified, very different from what I recall. So Chattanooga is a very interesting place. It's kind of the Denver of the Southeast. A lot of mountain climbing for kind of an outdoorsy type vibe. Kind of a Boulder, Colorado vibe, I guess. Then I went to Roanoke, Virginia. Roanoke, I think, is an undiscovered gem. I think Roanoke is going to be the new Asheville, North Carolina. The tourists haven't quite discovered it yet, which I like. And then a couple days ago, I went to Richmond, Virginia again to visit a friend. On the way to Richmond, stopped by some small towns in the middle of Southern Virginia. The most notable being Farmville, Virginia, which is some private colleges there, tucked away in the middle of nowhere. Kind of a Dead Poet Society type of college campus. Some interesting breweries. I always kind of like the tucked away small towns in the middle of nowhere, that kind of like an undiscovered gem type of vibe. So I was able to find a couple of those. Danville, Virginia. I found that on the way back. Also went to Lynchburg, Virginia. Beautiful town. I wouldn't plan a week there, but I'd plan a weekend there. For those of you who have not seen this part of the country, it can be surprisingly pretty outside the touristy areas. I'm not talking about the Blue Ridge in the Appalachians, like even outside of that area, east of the mountains. You can have some pleasant surprises. A lot of Airbnbs to stay in. A lot of quaint small towns that might be gone one day. Eli, is Richmond nice to live in? Thinking about moving there. So Eli, to answer that question, I can answer in two ways. Number one, I lived there back in 2012, 2013. So actually, some of my earlier videos actually were in Richmond, Virginia. I took some down, but I think there's at least one or two still there. You can tell by the horrible video quality. I lived in Virginia, Richmond, for 2 years. But since then, I went back at least every other year. And it is highly recommended, in my opinion. It is. People think that Raleigh, North Carolina, is like the place to go, but I think culturally and density wise, Richmond is much more interesting. Raleigh is very kind of like a concrete jungle, no history, kind of whitewashed, not a lot of vibe, not a lot of culture. And Richmond's impressive, I think. It depends on your stage of life. If you're a family man that is raising young kids, it won't really matter. Then I would recommend probably Raleigh. But if you're going to live in the suburbs, it doesn't really matter. But if you want to be close to like a very interesting, dense southern but no traffic town, I would recommend Richmond, definitely. No, the red flake video was I only had like I'll have to look at my channel, but I had like 6 videos in Richmond. I probably took half of them down, so there's maybe 2 or 3. You can tell because the camera was built into the laptop back in Richmond. But I'll have to check my own channel, to be honest. But no, I didn't do a lot of outdoor Richmond stuff except one video where I sped it up and walked down Broad Street in Richmond. I think that was I never did any talking videos outside of Richmond. Those all started in Raleigh, North Carolina. However, now that it's warming up, now that I have a friend who lives in Richmond, it'd be now that I have this Acer 714 with a built-in high-quality camera, I can actually go back to Richmond and film in Richmond. By far, one of the best C&D blends. This is Bayou Morning again for those just joining. One of the best Cornell and Deal blends I've had that's had staying power. That's never really dipped in quality, which is hard to believe because they all use the same mixing components. But this Bayou Morning it's a solid B plus, A minus. Just the right amount of body, just the right amount of nose burn, the right amount of peppery notes in the oh god, what's it called? The Perique. Yeah, strong. I would say it's strong. It's meaty. It's definitely meaty. I bought an electric scooter, about 6 months ago. I bought make a long story short, I bought an e-bike because I thought I was gonna, travel with an e-bike and go on trails and whatnot. The e-bike got delivered. I wasn't home, so they said they delivered the next day. It got lost in the facility. Turns out it got lost permanently, and I never actually got the bike. And in the meantime, while waiting for them to find this e-bike in a UPS or FedEx store or warehouse, I started looking at YouTube reviews of electric scooters, and decided that if they don't find the e-bike, I'm just going to cancel the order, get a refund, and buy an e-scooter. And so I've had an e-scooter now for 6 months. I put 450 miles on it. It's the best decision I ever made because the e-bike was going to be so much heavier, and I would not use it nearly enough. So I bought this e-scooter and put it in the back of my Subaru on multiple road trips now. I never thought I'd have 450 miles on an e-scooter, but best decision I ever made. It was half the cost. So for those of you thinking about, because summer's coming up, for those of you thinking about buying a toy as us boys do every summer, I bought an inflatable kayak last year, and that was a great investment. Went on like 20 different trips with a trolling motor and with a battery. And I think the e-scooter is probably one of the best decisions I ever made, but only by accident, only because the e-bike was not delivered. Never would have thought about it other than that. It's the G30 e-scooter. 9 bot G30. Hmm. I'll give you a quick story. On the way to Richmond, Virginia, a couple days ago, put the e-scooter in the back of the truck, went through small towns through Southern Virginia on the way to Richmond, stopped in Farmville. There's a famous private college there called Hampden-Sydney, with some old senators I went to. And there's a trail near there, and I got the scooter out, went on the trail, and saw like a high bridge that was suspended 150 feet in the air. Things that these little opportunities that you get into a town, they're like, if you just go down this way 2 miles, or go just down this way 2 miles, but you can't walk 2 miles quickly. Uh, hop the scooter out, uh, put it up, and it just makes you so much more mobile. It's been a huge, I'll call it an unlock of fun that I never would have assumed. With a bike, I never would have been able to do that. Most because of the weight. The bike was going to be like 75 pounds. This e-scooter is like 40 pounds. KR, I have not. I did not see. I looked at the GLP's lineup. I thought um, on the Smoking Pipes website, nothing nothing caught my eye, but I wasn't really looking very deeply though. If I had to say what tobaccos do I wish I would have ordered that I didn't think about, we all done this, right? You hit the buy now button, you fill up a basket, you get the confirmation, and then you're like, damn it, I forgot about this one blend that I had a year ago and I had a great experience, but I forgot about it. So for me, I already mentioned one, which is Burley Fake number 3. Maybe even Burley Fake number 2, possibly. I would have tried that again. But Cairo, GLP's Cairo. I had Fillmore a couple months ago, so I'm okay with Fillmore right now. You got a helicopter coming. But I wish I would have tried GLP's Cairo, or wish I would have ordered it. I got the melange here, so I'm all good on melange. I think melange wise, if I had to count, I think this is probably the 8th 2 ounce tin I've had. So this is there's no mystery left here. I know what I'm getting. I'm curious if Briar Fox is still what I thought it was. Last couple experiences weren't great, but it's been several years since I had Briar Fox. Um, in terms of old favorites that maybe I forgot about, within the Cornell and Deal lineup. Well, there's one that I'm thinking of. It only comes in 8-ounce tin. I'm having a hard time placing it. I bought a lot of it back in the day. If it comes to me, I'll say it. Oh, Melange is fantastic. It's going to dry out pretty quickly, so you have to smoke it within like a month or so. But it's also great for mixing. So Melange is great by itself, but if it's a little too aromatic, again, I think it has enough body to smoke straight. I put that melange. It's like pixie dust. You can put that melange on anything, and it's like it's like Mrs. Dash. Whatever you're smoking, it's just going to elevate it. A little bit of vanilla, a little bit of maybe a coconut, but not really coconut, but some tropical flavors for someone who hates tropical tobacco. It's pixie dust. This is the blend that Peter Pan would have smoked himself. I've had a lot of rat rays, by the way. When I say a lot, I mean four. I've had the trio, Brown Clooney, and there's two other ones that are right around Brown Clooney, that I Gowrie, Old Gowrie, and How the Wind. And then I had Accountant's Mixture, I think, which is less. It gets a lower rating on tobaccoreviews.com. So I spent a lot of time with rat rays. In fact, Brown Clooney was one of the first tobaccos I reviewed back in Richmond, Virginia. I may have taken the video down, but I was in love with Brown Clooney for a while. I had Marlin Flake at least 3 times over 3 years. And those strips, when you open that Marlin Flake, those strips coming out of the tin, it's almost like Silver Flake from Solani. It's almost like licorice. They're just all connected. It seems like it's a 2-foot strip that's just been folded. Marlin Flake, I think I reviewed it 2 years ago as well on a live stream. And I remember the last time I got Marlin Flake, fresh out of the tin, super light, couldn't have any flavor. Couldn't detect any flavor. Very disappointed. However, again, it could have been me, because 2 weeks of aging shouldn't do anything. But maybe exposure to the air, Marlin Flake started getting more and more flavor, like my old memories were. And I had some good experiences, but it was a roller coaster. Marlin Flake went from flavorless to recapturing memories that I had years prior. It was wild. I never had a tobacco experience like that, where it went from air to what I used to uh, remember it by. Oh yeah, the rat race comparison. Yeah, Brent, welcome, by the way. Did I do all 3 rat rays in one video? Okay, well, both of you said it, so I must have. I know that I've had all 3. I used to like packing up bowls side by side. It's the only true way to compare, by the way, because you're eating things differently. Your body chemistry is different every day. It's a hard thing to compare unless you're doing it side by side. It looks like my face is on fire. The reason why is because the stage lights have turned on, so I'm getting a lot of orange glow on this side. KR4, I had to change my opinion on so many blends once I discovered, the Meerschaum. That's interesting. I had a lot of clay pipes. I still never smoked a Meerschaum before. Strangely enough, I don't understand this, but when I look at my most watched video, even today, on a given monthly basis, I haven't been active for a while, but The most watched video, I think because of the keyword or the title, is my clay pipe video, because I think people are looking for clay pipes for cooking. So I'm getting a lot of traffic of people who don't smoke pipes because the clay pipe is the most abstract niche pipe ever. But it's got like 25,000 views, and there's no way that is from pipe smokers. So there's a lot of people working in kilns, I guess, trying to trying to make pipe kilns or something. But every month, that clay pipe video is the #1 most viewed video. It makes no sense, and people watch it most of the way through. I'll never understand that. I can't believe there's a subpopulation looking for a key phrase of clay pipe. I'm not complaining, by the way. I'm just saying. Bagpiper's Dream. Never had that. It sounds aromatic-ish. I'm getting some Irish cream vibes when I hear bagpipers. Um, Lots of good fake mirrors out there, believe it or not. I would don't disagree with that. I've been to Turkey. I know a little bit about the Turkish meerschaum mines. Your Why I Love Clay Pipes video is up. Is it 66? I haven't looked. I don't know. But Eli, do you get my point? There's no way. There's no way those views are legitimately from pipe smokers. There's got to be there's got to be some other application for the phrase clay pipe. Archaeologist, maybe? I have no idea. But that was the happy accident of titling a video. KR, I live in Maryland. I lived in Maryland, just north of DC, College Station. No, that's Texas. Wherever the University of Maryland's at. College Park. I lived in Maryland, and there's a lot of red clay that would be cool to work with. I can see that. Oh, cognac topping. That rings a bell. Yeah. Reenactor stories interesting. Tabakiana. There's not enough reenactors of Civil War. I would be looking for. Well, there can't be that many. I don't. There can't be that many. I almost went to Appomattox Courthouse. So the town I was talking about earlier, Lynchburg, Virginia, is about it. Like 15, 20 miles away is Appomattox, which I thought would be a big tourist destination because that's where the Civil War was kind of settled in terms of the signage of the surrender with General Lee. And I wanted to get out to Appomattox, but it's such a small town. It's like this big. And I watched a YouTube video on that little park. Because I've been to Gettysburg. I'm not a big historian, but I've been to Gettysburg in Pennsylvania. Awesome place. But I always wanted to stop by Appomattox. Didn't get a chance. Actually, I got a chance. I decided not to. But I still want to go there. A lot of the houses have been moved, so they're not in the same place where they used to be. But it's just so strange. In that part of Virginia, there's so many historical sites that you just drive by them and you would never know the difference. Mount Airy. We have a Mount Airy in North Carolina. I've been to Frederick as well. Yeah, that's the Frederick. You're getting to the pretty part of Maryland where there's rolling hills. That's when I lived in DC. Though when I had a motorcycle, I had a Buell XB12X, otherwise known as a Ulysses. I'd always I was amazed by how pretty the countryside was within a 60-minute drive west of DC. Gets real pretty real fast. Oh, okay. You commute there. Regret selling that motorcycle to a certain extent, but again, I think I'd been on enough weekend getaway trips on that bike. It had a lot of great memories. had a lot of fuel injection problems, but it was a great bike. I didn't cry the day I sold it, but I cried 3 months after I sold it. I used to email the guy I sold it to, and I'm like, "Tell me about your trips." I wanted to live vicariously through his trips after I sold it because, again, I was done. I was done with it, but I still miss that buttery smooth V twin, which is a modified Harley Davidson 1200, a longer stroke, I think. But it was so buttery. It was fantastic, except the EFI issues that I had. I was in the shop a lot. I'll put it that way. It was a tall bike. I'm 6'2". Like, it had the tippy toe on it, but it was fantastic because once you're riding, your legs aren't like scrunched up. It was a fantastic bike. Ken never had a Casero pipe. Not familiar, to be honest. I'm not sure what those are. Boys, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, it's Bayou Morning. I haven't had a vapor in a while, to be honest. My eyes are watering. That retro hail, Jesus. It's a good burn, but it's a burn. I wouldn't say burn. It's a spiciness, peppery burn. It's not just burn for burn's sake. It's not like a burly burn. And I love black pepper. I don't have a pepper shaker. I'm always about the fresh grind peppercorn shaker, and it's peppercorn, man. It's straight up peppercorn. It lets you know you're smoking something. It is a wake up blend. So well balanced too. It's so hard to find. Like, as you guys know, there's tobaccos that are flavor bombs that they burn out, halfway through the bowl. The flavor changes. I'm not talking aromatics, even just nightcap things like that. Everyone's experience is different, and there's those monotone blends that very solid, but it's the same experience, puff in, puff out, all the way through the bowl. Those are perfectly fine. And then there's this stuff, which is depending on depending on the ratio in which you retrohale. For example, take a draw, small retrohale, you get one flavor. Take another draw. Big retrohale. It's a different experience. It's based on the ratio in which you're retrohaling the exhale. It's uh, it's a kaleidoscope of flavors. And I may be in a little nicotine buzz right now because that was a couple big hits in a row. Oh, thank you for mentioning that, KR. I was talking about blends that I've had before that I forgot to reorder, that I had good experiences with that I never really wrote down because I'm bad at making notes. Cajun cake in the 8-ounce tin. Had great experiences with because I don't think of the word Cajun. I usually search by keyword. I have not ordered it since the first time I had it, and this is like 3 or 4 years ago. I've had Night Train in the 8-ounce tin. Not as good as Cajun cake. Not as good as Cajun cake. But I had great experiences with the Cajun cake. It was a broken flake. It was a ribbon. It was like somewhere between. It was a weird consistency, if I recall, but it lit well, stay lit, burned well. I'd love to do that. That's actually an interesting comparison to do Cajun cake versus Bayou Morning. I know they wouldn't be too similar, but I also know they wouldn't be too far apart. Have too many jars open. Yeah, welcome to the club. Or actually, I shouldn't say welcome to the club. I don't have any jars open now. I used to have way too many jars. I've pared way down in the last couple of years. but I know the struggle. I know the struggle. Um, when you go to my channel, that intro video of Jeremy Reeves, the head blender of Cornell and Deal, which is my second visit to their factory. I think the first visit was a better video, but the second video is the default video that it auto plays. There's the clip that he starts with was the answer to the question of something along the lines of I think what people most know about pie smoking is the variety of flavors, and that was a poignant quote. It was a perfect quote actually. I think it's in black and white as well. All right, boys. I think I'm gonna call it a night. I couldn't imagine a better venue for doing this, but my battery's running low, and I think this is the perfect stream. Now's the time to end it. So, thanks for joining me. I hope to do a little more of these more regularly. So please hit the notification button so that you can. I'm going to do another one of these at least within the next 7 days or so. So hope to see you then, and have a good Saturday night. Take care.